Hi friends, welcome to another video. I don't post them much, but I really wanted today to bring you to the Pro Shop because I've been having so many changes within my specs. I've been injured a lot this year. I've been having lots of changes on my thumb. That happened last year. I moved from my molds to the switch grip. I changed my pitches in my fingers many times, and so I did the span change. So I just want to walk you through how drilling a bowling ball look like, what are my specs, what are the changes I made, and this is what we're gonna drill today. Any ideas what it could be? No? No? Ready? You have 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1. It's an Equilibrium. It's a ball from 2019. It was made in San Antonio when 900 Global had its own factory there. I don't remember actually much about this ball. I threw it not for very long. I've kept it because it was really good from what I remember, but I think Gio would know more.
Oh, yeah. The bowling ball is like a benchmark ball. It's lower G, medium diff, very slow benchmark type of bowling ball. Daria has been seeing that her bowling balls tend to be a little quick on tour, so we're going to try this ball out just to see if we can get something so she can match up better in the tournaments.
So like the reason why we're drilling it is because I've struggled this year on tour, not a secret. I've been having my balls not slow down, and if they were to slow down, they would force me left a bit too far away from the field, making my merge and down lane a little bit too small. So we were like, okay, let's try to do it on a symmetric ball, let's try to do a trick layout, and we'll see. And we're looking from what the balls we had, what we could do, and that's when we're like, oh, we can do it on Equilibrium, right?
Yeah, it's a test ball. Let's call it, it's going to be an experiment, so hopefully it goes the right way.
Yeah, do you know what you want to do with like the
I was actually going to
numbers?
talk to you about that. What do you want to do? Do you want to go something a bit like pin down and a little longer pin?
I want it to skid, hook, and roll, and strike.
No way.
I want that. No, so I want this to be kind of like my fresh ball, that it's gonna be seeing the mid lane, and then it's gonna go into that roll phase, but I don't want it to force me very far left.
Yeah.
So the way we've been trying to do it on tour is that we've been trying to max out the flare potential of the ball by making the layouts really strong. But what it did many times for me just forced me so far left that it just didn't work.
Yeah. So what we're gonna try to do this time is cutting off the flare so the ball stays in line a bit more and making a very slow layout where it stays in line but it's kind of smooth in the back, and that's going to help her to stay farther right. She has a lot of rev rates, so sometimes that rev rate hurts her a little bit where she forces her left.
Yeah, it should be better. And
so we're going to make a trick layout so she can stay right and she can just bang on it, and it's going to stay in line, right?
Yeah, because usually when the flare is like small, then the ball would just jump in the back.
Yeah,
right?
that's the trick part of it. Keeps too much energy.
Yeah.
So the idea is to make the ball as slow as possible with the ball staying in line.
So either we're gonna love it or hate it. I'm gonna write down my sheet for you because we changed it so many times. So I'm gonna write it, give it to you, and forever and ever it's gonna stay that way, okay?
And we have to find out the layout.
Yeah, we're gonna find out the layout. Okay.
Do it.
Do we still remember the unfortunate 2020? That's back when my US visa was revoked and I was in jeopardy of losing all my sport contracts and in fact just losing everything that I've worked so hard for. And it was a very difficult time, just like for many of us. And when I struggle, I tend to self-isolate. And I realized things were getting very serious when I got COVID. And I felt some sort of relief that I don't have to go out, that I don't have to talk to people, that no one is going to visit me. And that's when I reached to BetterHelp, which is the sponsors of today's video. It's a platform that I used back in 2020, where I was connected to a therapist that helped me work on all the issues, talked me through a lot of stuff that I was facing, made me aware of a lot of emotions I had, and eventually it made me feel a lot better. BetterHelp connects you with a licensed therapist who is trained to listen to you and give you helpful, unbiased advice. First, you go to their site. You can use my link, betterhelp.com/Daria Payón. You'll answer a few questions and BetterHelp will match you with a professional who has years of experience helping people with struggles. You can do it from your phone, your computer. You can choose messaging, phone call, video chat, whatever suits you best. You will be matched with a therapist usually within 48 hours. You can visit betterhelp.com/Daria Pająk or choose Daria Pająk at the sign up to get a discount for your first month. Remember, take care of yourself. Mental health is so important. Okay, back to the video. Alright, so the first I'm gonna write down the span, which is 3 and 13/16. I actually had to lengthen my span last year because I was dropping the ball a lot, and actually Hank Boomershine helped me a lot to figure out why I was dropping it, and it was because my span was really short. I'm still on the shorter side, but it's a lot better now. And then my thumb pitch, I'm using switch grip. Actually, that's a big change, you know. I used mold for very, very, very long, and I never wanted to give it up. Okay, so my ring is 9/16 reverse, and I'm gonna be 5/16 right. Okay, and we did change the middle, and I have it written down. So I actually was almost all the way to 3/4 reverse on the finger because I kept burning. And I didn't want to be catching it too much, you know. And I had no issue with that until I went on tour and we were bowling a lot of games, and I was really close to losing my nail. But I was speaking to Gio, and he told me he had the same issue, and he actually went less reverse. Because what happens when I would grab the ball, I felt like the whole of the ball, it was like pushing my finger towards the wall of the ball, and that's where I felt the most pressure. So the moment I went a little bit more forward, less reverse, that pressure went away. And ever since we changed that, it's been great. I'm using vacuum grips because my hands swell up a lot. And then on the sheet, I put 29 to 55.
Pretty much, the lady grips are 7/8, but 29 is 2 sizes a bit bigger, so that's the pilot hole. And then we just go like 3/4 of an inch down, and then we finish it with 55, which is even smaller than the 7/8. Yeah. So you go from bigger than 7/8 to smaller than 7/8. And that's pretty much, so she likes vacuum, but it is the way that she likes it. Yeah, right. Yeah, it's not a big one.
Yeah, I used to have the difference between the drill bits like a lot bigger. You usually go 4 drill bit sizes up, right, when you do vacuum, and I'm only 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, so when it was a bigger vacuum, I felt like the grips were wearing out a little bit faster because you had to like push the finger inside, and then the grip every time had to expand, and then you will have to change the grips very often. But also I felt like I was losing the feel of the ball a little bit. So the moment I went away from the vacuum, and it was terrible idea.
Too much tension, right?
It was just that, you know, airplanes, traveling, humidity, like my hands can go up and like swell up and not swell up so often that I felt like I had to be changing grips all the time. Yeah. So now I'm gonna try to have Gio map out the ball. We're gonna figure out what layouts exactly to do, and hopefully that ball is gonna go fantastic.
So what we're gonna do is 5.5, 5 1/4. What do you think? I was thinking about more like...
What's my longest pin that you have drilled so far? Is it on single label?
Yeah, it's like 5.5, but it's pin up. If we go pin down, it's gonna cut off the flare even more. So...
Okay, so if we do that, right, how do we make the ball pick up in the milling?
It's not gonna pick up in the milling as much. The ball itself is early. So the idea is to make the ball flare a little so it stays in line. Mm-hmm. So there's also like kind of, it's a wiggle room, right?
And what happens if you drill it like that, but then like I put surface, right? It's still gonna stay more in line than it would have.
Yes, and it's gonna pick up based on the surface of the ball.
Okay, so 5.5?
5.5? Well, testing it, right? If it doesn't work, well,
yeah, but we don't
we
have
will
any
try
more
again.
equilibriums in case it was...
I have a couple more.
You do?
Yeah.
I think I want one more.
Okay.
Whether it's bad or good.
So in that case, we're gonna do 5.5 by 5. So we're not gonna kick out the CG or the PSA too much. So also the same to put the weight block in a position to stay in line.
Okay.
So 5.5 by 5 to make a pin down.
I think so.
We can map it and then we see if you like how it looks.
Yeah, I think I really want it to be pinned down.
Yeah.
Just to cut that flare even
and just
more.
to see something different.
Yeah.
Just to try.
Yeah. So what drilling the ball pin down does is it raises the RG of the ball and cuts down the flare. And that's kind of what I want. I want the ball to stay more in line, and I don't want it to flare too much, right?
Yeah, that's the idea. Real quick. What's your path?
Well, 5 1/16 and 1 up.
1 up, I say.
Yeah. Well, progress, right? From my 3 and whatever I had, 7, 8.
Yeah. Okay. So pretty much this is where your ring finger will be at.
Mm.
This is where your thumb will be at.
What happened to it? It got hurt.
Yeah. You dropped it.
No, I did not.
So kind of this picture. So the thumb will be
like
right
it.
here, ring finger, middle finger,
I
kind of that
really
area.
like it.
You like how it looks?
Yeah, I do.
So this is 5.5 by 5 by 5.
In some previous bowls, you would like either drill my fingers more shallow or deeper.
Depending on what we would like to see
Yeah,
in the bowl.
on that one you want it like deeper, right?
Yeah. If we drill it deeper, we're gonna take this, let's say,
The
the
mass.
top way, and we're gonna take more mass out of the bowl. So it's gonna make the bowl a little earlier, a little chuggier, a little smoother. Yeah, that's the idea, right? That's what we want to
Yeah.
see. So that's pretty much how it looks.
Yeah, I think if I was forced to like drill my stuff, I think I would. But it's still giving me a bit of anxiety. I still don't know how he hits the lines like so well. I felt like when I was trying to drill, like I didn't know how to look in order to see the drill bit in the proper position to where I would know if I'm hitting the line or not. Terrible,
Yeah,
guys.
I imagine some pro shop operators can feel like, imagine the pressure of somebody looking over your shoulder to see if you're hitting the lines or not. Man.
I do it a lot, yeah. But all the pressure on Gio, so we'll
'Kay.
hope that the bowl is gonna roll well.
So good?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it.
Yeah, we're gonna go off the camera because the drill bit is gonna be very loud, and we're gonna go jump to my favorite part when I show you how I glue my grips and how I cut them to make them like smooth with the ball. Okay? I have a question for $1 million for you. Would you prefer me to be over your shoulder or Che to move the camera?
Probably you.
If
Chayton
you
makes me
miss,
nervous.
everyone's good.
Chayton makes me nervous.
Okay, so let's sum up. My PAP is 5 and 1/16 and 1 up.
Yep.
Yeah. PAP to, we call it PAP in Europe, but I guess PAP, right? Is the
Yep.
right way. So PAP to the pin, the distance.
5.5.
Why is it so long?
So we are cutting the flare down. We're also putting the pin a bit farther away from the VAL. That's the other 5. Like it's 5.5 by 5 by 5. So it's 5.5 is pin to PAP.
Okay.
Then the other 5 is PSA to PAP. So longer, so it stays in line also. And 5 from VAL to pin. That also is going to make the transition of the ball much longer. It's going to make it smoother, rounder.
Okay.
This is cutting the flare a lot. I'm actually looking forward to see how much it's going to flare. Probably it's not going to flare much.
I'm excited. I don't really have many balls that
It might be
flare.
bad. But hopefully it's going to be good.
I know. What surface do you think I should have on it? Because the whole idea is to have it for like fresh, right? So
Yeah.
that way it doesn't force me left.
Yeah.
But I do have to have surface so that way I can see the lane.
Totally. But
Like
at
this?
that
It's not
point,
very much,
I would,
right?
no, out of the box, I think it's 3,000. I would say just throw it as it is. If you bowl a tournament where there is a lot of volume, you can hit it with 1,000 or 2. If you have a tournament where it has less volume or there's a lot of friction on the lane, you can just leave it as it is.
Okay. Favorite part. You guys ready? I'm going to show you my super Pro Shop skills.
Yeah.
All the Pro Shop operators, thank you so much for being on my video. I hope you enjoyed it. Everybody else stays, okay? Shortcut. I'm using MS Quad from Turbo. I've been with Turbo forever. I begged them to sign me in 2016. After many emails, they were like, okay. And they signed me. I was very excited because I've always been using Turbo. I have 39 on my ring. I think I have to cut it a little bit because it doesn't really go in very smoothly. So I'm just gonna cut it. Okay. I'm not using, I don't know if you can actually like show if it's gonna focus on it, but there is like that part that has that little mesh. I'm actually not using that. I'm using the flat one. I used to use mesh, but then I just kind of went away from it. Mostly because I felt like I was burning the finger as well because of the pitch. But once I went away from it, I like it. So anyway, okay. So this is it. Normally, in the normal vacuum, you would want to glue it from the bottom. But because I don't really know how to do it, I'm going to glue the front and the side, and I will tell you in a bit why I do it that way. So I will just put some glue. Also, Turbo has the best glue. I don't put much because since I sometimes change the grips, it's a lot easier to pull them fast. Okay, that one I want it more like this. I don't want to like really struggle to take the grip out because I put too much glue. And now a fun part, because a lot of people are like, oh Daria, your grips are sticking out, that's why you're cheating, because this is gonna knock down the pin. I don't know, I saw those comments before. The truth is I'm a little reversed still, so they're gonna be sticking out. And I take the scissors. I got them as a gift in Japan when I was... What? Oh, you're the one. Okay, right? Beautiful part. I take scissors and I just very beautifully go around it, like this. And you see? It's not sticking out. Guys, the best tip.
So bad.
Pro shop with Daria. So we are done here. One of the things you can do, I don't normally do it, but just to be fancy and show you that we can make it a bit better, we're gonna use a towel, and that's acetone. Why we're using acetone is because it like dissolves, eats the rubber. So when I really rub it a lot, it's gonna make these edges a little smoother. I mean, how much smoother can it really make, since I like kind of butchered those grips? But it's gonna make them a little smoother. There was the time when I was using MS grips and we didn't have some of the sizes back home in Poland, and I went up to the biggest size I had that was available to me, and I needed to make the grips a little bit bigger, so I would actually take acetone and put it inside the grip and make it bigger. But that's just a fun fact. Okay, we're almost ready. Ta-da! Me and my new bowling ball. I will let you know, guys, how it rolled. I probably will not do a YouTube video about it, but if you follow me on social media, you're gonna probably see it. So thank you for being with me and with Gio. Poor thing, he has to be with me, like he has to draw for me, and I have to like look over his shoulder, and then if he misses, poor thing. But you don't miss very often, do you?
She's picky.
Yeah,
I'd never miss. She's picky.
I am quite picky though. Oh, the funniest part, I forgot to tell you. Ta-da! My switch grip. So, very quickly before we go. So this is the mold. I used to have a lot of them. The problem is that some of them have pitch inside, and that pitch is gonna be in the ball. So if you draw a ball with a pitch, but then you have a pitch here, then you have a different pitch that what you wanted to do. So it was driving me insane for some time. We had to have a bowling ball that would have just a hole, so we can put the mold, measure how much pitch is inside it, and then like do the math. And now I have my mold inside the sleeve, inside the switch grip, that's how you would say.
Inner,
yeah. And I have many of them because I lose things quite often, and I have not lost one yet though, but I do have maybe like 5 or 6. See, all of them are molds. Some of them are bigger, some of them are smaller. Absolutely love it, okay? Best decision I made last year, and I'm very happy.
no moment of truth. Put your hand in it. How does it feel?
Oh, if you did not miss. No, it feels nice.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Sure.
Do you think I look like I will be striking with it? Thanks, guys. Thanks for being with us. If you have any questions about Pro Shop stuff, you can leave them in the comments. I'm not going to answer because I'm probably not going to know. But thanks for being here. I hope that you Pro Shop operators, if you stayed, you were not supposed to, but anyway, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.